I know this title sounds a bit extreme, but hear me out. Recently, I moved across the country, and suddenly I find myself making art in a way I haven't for years. Since I relocated, creativity has been flowing out of me. I don't have to force myself to draw anymore. For the first time since I was a teenager, my walls are covered in paintings, and it took all this change for me to realize that despite filling a sketchbook and making all the art for the videos on this channel, I spent the past 2 years art blocked. When I was younger, like 15 or something, and I started to take art more seriously, I remember thinking I'd never have art block. The idea of not wanting, not needing to draw was almost inconceivable at the time. I thought if I don't know what to draw, I'll just pick out a random photo, any portrait off Pinterest, any landscape on my phone, draw it, art block solved. But that's a simple solution to a lack of inspiration. But the thing is, art block, at least for me, is rarely the lack of a creative idea or the feeling of not wanting to draw. Art block is when I want to draw more than anything, but I just can't get myself to do it. The problem is mental, and usually it's not just affecting my creativity. If you were to break your dominant wrist, which I actually did walking backwards when I was 12, you'd be physically blocked from writing or drawing. But that's not what art block is. It's mental. It's the reason you'd wait 6 weeks for your wrist to heal instead of just painting with your other hand. And a mental block to your creativity is always more than just art block. It's made up of other issues, ones that would probably be helped by creating. I make a lot of videos on this channel talking about what to draw, how to get back into drawing or using your sketchbook, but the fact is, if you're really art blocked, it's not helpful to hear someone say, grab your sketchbook and draw a self-portrait or whatever. Because the hard part is like actually sitting yourself down in front of your sketchbook and having the motivation and will to create when there's so much else going on. But here's something to consider. When you're beating yourself up for not creating, for not following through with your ideas, the expressive part of art, like the part that appeals to others, maybe mostly in what you create, your subject matter and finished result. But like, I know it's gonna sound cheesy, but the healing and necessary part of creating art for oneself is in the creating itself, in making those marks and feeling paint glide across paper and giving purpose to your mind that's usually given free rein to overthink. When I had art block, or like at least when I realized I did, I was forced to confront why I really make art. And I realized even if I could never see the finished result, I'd still be creating. Actually, I might even create more, but that's another conversation for a different video. Don't interpret this as it's easy, you don't have to paint anything specific, just make something. I know it's not easy. Why I'm making this video is because the endless amount of how to solve art block videos, which I'm guilty of putting out as well, that tell you to pull out your sketchbook while you watch and you won't do it, are great for giving you inspiration when you're actually out of ideas. But I rarely hear anyone mention that art block is often more than just a lack of ideas, and it's not something you can fix in a day. You wouldn't tell someone to get over a mental illness in a day, and I'm not saying art block is a mental illness, but I would say in most cases it's part of a deeper mental issue, because if you love making art and you can't convince yourself to get up and make like just messy marks on paper, you aren't just lacking ideas, you're going through something. So if you're dealing with that, stop trying to look for what to create and stop beating yourself up for not executing ideas if you have them. And stop trying to make good art. And this is going to sound mega cheesy, but try to convince yourself to create for yourself, to heal. If you're watching up to this point, you probably get what I'm saying. And if you're experiencing all this, try to get yourself to pick up your sketchbook or a blank sheet of paper and start something. But I know most of you won't do it because I wouldn't have when I was going through it. But if you've been art blocked, try this. Don't beat yourself up for not having the motivation right now to get up and create. But next time you're actually around a sheet of paper, like even just a receipt or something, make a mark. Draw swirls in the margin of your notes, and if you can convince yourself to pull out a paintbrush, just make shapes, not anything specific, but just to feel how nice the process of making is. Do that, because that's how you get over art block, slowly, without the pressure of having an idea. Like, I think art block is actually worsened by the fact that it's associated with a lack of ideas, when creating doesn't really require ideas at all. Maybe like the style of art you were making before did, but I think some of my favorite paintings and writing I've ever done were when I went into it because I needed to without knowing what I was going to make first. So the next time you can, just make marks. And If every time you can, you just make marks, eventually you'll like some of those marks. And then, you'll draw something else you like, and then maybe you draw something you won't, but at least you'll be making.
So it's 2 days later and I'm editing this video and I realized I never actually recorded a conclusion or anything. So here we are. It's fully snowing outside now because Canada's weather is so temperamental. So I'm gonna make this super quick. Basically, I had no plans when I started this, and the idea of painting on a canvas, which honestly I don't know that I've ever done, really scared me, but I wanted to do so that I can write on the canvas and let the rain mess with it, which honestly really helped get rid of that blank paper feeling. And then after I let the rain mess up the words, I brought it inside and let it dry, and by that time the sun had come out, so I ended up having this awesome painting session in the sun. I still had no idea what I wanted to paint, so I just put on an hour-long timer with the goal of just starting something, and I kind of just picked up colors I was attracted to and worked really loose, and this came out of it. It's definitely nowhere near done, but it's a start of something that I couldn't have made if I had planned this piece. So I'm really excited to see where it goes. I'm gonna head inside so the paint doesn't get all messed up again, since it's like I said, it's snowing. Anyways, thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.